Hello and welcome to our second episode of Health Realities Talk Show, a show that digs deep into important and insightful health-related issues not so often spoken of. I'm your host today, Anotidaishe Muchengaguyo, and I'm joined today by Dr. Kuda and Miranda, as well as Uncle Alvin. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming to the show. To our audience and viewers at home, welcome to Health Realities. Feel free to like our Facebook page, which is Health Realities, and also subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is Health Realities. For questions and comments, you can send them through our WhatsApp numbers on your screen. Or alternatively, you can join our WhatsApp group, which is Natural Health Realities. Today we are discussing an interesting topic titled Of Bleaches in Superiority, What's the Full Cost? It's interesting that we are discussing about bleaching, which has taken our nation by storm. But instead of focusing on skin bleaching, we are focusing on food bleaching. So what do you make of this title, guys?
Okay, the biggest question here is the bleaching we are talking about is food bleaching. A lot of our food we experience today is being bleached. The reality here is our grains and other foods are being ultra-processed, whereby removing most of the nutrients that our bodies require to function thoroughly, and we in turn are removing these products, from the grain.
Oh, quite insightful. I remember from our previous episode, from our first episode, we were discussing the sweet bitter truth about sugar, and one highlight was that processed sugar has a negative effect on our health. So I want you guys to help me define what food processing is, or maybe more specifically, what grain processing is. Miranda?
Okay, thank you, Anu. Food processing or grain processing, it starts from the post-harvest stage, where we have our grain, for example, the maize seed, and it goes through a number of processes, which can be physical processes, or chemical processes, or even both. And from these, that's where we have some of the things from the grain are removed, and we also have different vitamins or minerals that are added back, and we also have various products that come out of the same grain. So that's basically food processing. And like the title says, it also includes the bleaching, which is part of the processing of the food.
All right, thank you so much. So, Uncle, what really happens when people process grains?
Okay, when grain is processed, okay, let me show you an example. I've got a maize cob here. Does it look familiar to you? It looks familiar. Okay, now when the cob is harvested, it is then taken to the grain is then taken, is removed, and when you get your grain, you have your husk or your hull on the maize kernel. You've got the endosperm and the germ. Now what happens here, the hull and the husk is removed and the germ is removed. Now these are very essential for our requirements, and we in turn are removing it from the grain, and we are putting it aside, and the endosperm is what is being manufactured. When you talk about your wheat, your bran is removed, and your germ is removed, and what we left is the endosperm, which is then processed into flour, which we are then putting in on the market.
Okay, so what could be the driving force behind this process? Is it the problem with the manufacturer, or it's with us consumers, Dr. Kuda?
Thank you, Anu. I don't know whether we should call it a problem.
Okay.
But yes, there are driving forces behind the processing. And for me, I think it's two-pronged. It's driven from the perspective of the manufacturer, and it's also driven from the perspective of the consumer. From the perspective of the manufacturer, you find out that grain processing, like Uncle highlighted, where you remove the husks and remove the germ, it leads to increase in the shelf life of your product. So it's an advantage even for you when you buy it and you store it at home. You can be able to consume it over a long period of time. And also removing the outer part as well as the bran for wheat, for example, which reduces the bulkiness of the product. So it's also an advantage in terms of transportation for the manufacturer. Also, from the perspective of the consumer, you find out that there is a certain preference. When you remove all those, the bran, there is a color change or improvement. You find out that the grains become lighter. Also, to some extent, the taste also changes. And to some consumers, they say it improves.
All right.
So those are the two perspectives.
Okay. Do you want to comment? No. All right, that's fine. I'll throw it to you, audience. What do you prefer, your white cake flour or your whole wheat cake flour? Let's take a break from now, and we'll be blessed by our instrumentalist. Stay tuned. That's the full cost. Maybe to be more specific, we are discussing grain processing. So before the break, we were talking about the processes that we go through when we're processing grain. And I want to know now, what are we losing in this process? What are we losing, Dr. Kuda?
When we are removing the outer coat of a seed, the outer coat contains the fiber, which is important for our digestion. Then we are also removing the germ, which contains the essential nutrients. From the germ, that's where it's like the embryo. When you plant a seed, from the germ, that's where the embryo is, and the plant grows from the germ. And all the other parts important. So you can imagine that that's where the concentration of the nutrients are when we are removing it. And these nutrients, from the way that our bodies were made, you can recall that we had, when God made us, our diet was mainly vegetarian or plant-based. So in these nutrients, from these grains, that's where we can get the nutrients that are essential for our body. And then this leads to the prevention of particular health conditions once we eat the grains as well.
All right, Uncle Alvin, what are we losing from this processing?
Okay, in the process of what we're talking about is we are losing our nutrients. Okay, in our bran, we are losing our fiber. Now our fiber, as Doc says, is very important for our body, whereby it assists in our digestive system. In your wheat as well, there's a lot of minerals we are losing, and as we're all aware that minerals are essential for our body, and by us destroying or throwing away what the body requires, we are actually doing harm to ourselves. So what I suggest is, let us try and listen to what is being said today and try and go according to our needs.
All right, Miranda, you want to add?
Yes, maybe I can add on that we are also losing out on our health because if we look at the screen, there is a seed, and on that seed we are saying that we have removed the outer part, and we have also removed the innermost part, which is the germ, and we are left with the endosperm. The endosperm is basically the starchy part or the high carbohydrate part. And that means when you have your flour, the white refined flour, it is a it has a high glycemic index, meaning that when you eat it, you will quickly feel hungry. And because of that, that means you'll consume more carbohydrates than you need. And that actually leads to your blood sugar having spikes now and again, leading to insulin resistance. And at the end of the day, you have what we call the type 2 diabetes. And we also have other health risks associated with lack of fiber or low fiber intake in our diets. And those lead to colorectal cancer and obesity as well.
All right, Dr. Kruger.
Okay, so what she's simply saying is that the importance of fiber. Fiber may not be able to be digested, but what fiber is doing is it's creating sort of like a matrix, so that your carbohydrates or your digestion is slowed down to such an extent that your body may be able to handle the absorption of the sugar.
All right, quite a charm to chew and also insightful. So what products in terms of output are we talking about? You have said we have grain, we have maize meal, we have maize, we have wheat, we have rice. So in terms of output, what are the products that we are talking about here?
Okay, from a single maize seed, we get cooking oil, which is coming mostly from the germ. And we also have stock feeds coming from the endosperm and also the outer part or the outer cord of the seed. And we also have other products, for example, your cereals like the cornflakes coming from the maize seed. And for our wheat, we have got different kinds of flour that we get. And we also have the bran that is sold again to us on the market. And we add it back to our flours when we are making different recipes. And we also have different kinds of breads and pastries, and also our pastas, they also come from the same wheat.
All right. Okay, we close this segment for now. Stay tuned. Our instrumentalist will bless us with an instrument. Welcome back to Health Realities Talk Show, a show that digs deep into health-related issues not so often spoken of. And like I said earlier on, today we are discussing an interesting topic titled "Of Bleaches and Superiority, What's the Full Cost?" In simple terms, we are discussing grain processing. Before the break, you highlighted that there are products, the outputs in terms of products when it comes from our maize and everything. You listed a lot of things. We now want to focus on the bleaching aspect of this program. What is bleaching, Miranda?
Okay, bleaching is the addition of chemical additives, and these are basically trying to make that brown tinted or yellowish tinted flour into very white. So that's basically bleaching. And there's addition of different chemical additives, for example, your chlorine, the chlorine dioxides, peroxides, and many other kinds of chemicals that are added to the food.
Okay, you have mentioned chemicals there. So I want to know, is it dangerous? This bleaching, is it dangerous, Dr. Kuda?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Already, our body naturally, when you are stressed, they produce what are called chemicals such as the peroxides, which are free radicals. And then these free radicals, they increase the chances of progression of diseases like cancer. Sometimes the replication of the HIV virus increases if these chemicals are in large quantities in your body in stressful environments. So adding these chemicals to your flour, to your grains, it overburdens your body in terms of trying to mop up all these chemicals which are free radicals. So yes, I would say the chemicals are dangerous.
All right. Before the set, you were talking about the people in China, them living for a long time as compared to Western people from the Western countries. Maybe you can shed a bit more light on that.
Okay. Sometime last year, I was in China for about 30 days, and it took me a while to find a place where I could eat. And one of the suburbs, I looked for an Adventist church, and then I told one of my friends that whom I had made there, that I'm having trouble finding a place where I can have good food. Then they referred me to this restaurant, which was far, but because of the transport network, it was maybe 30 minutes away. So we went together. This place served only plant-based food. And when we got there, the type of people that we saw, they were very old people. And the type of food which was there was mainly whole grain food. And I was surprised to see purple rice, brown rice. You hardly could find the white rice. It was in a small bowl, but the purple, the brown, all the unprocessed grains, you would find them there. And I was amazed because I thought to myself that maybe that's why these seemingly old people are continuing to look healthy because of the type of food that they were eating.
All right. Thank you so much for that testimony. Maybe I would like to open it up to our audience. If they have any questions, you can raise your hands in the next 10 seconds so that they can be addressed. Any comments or questions from our audience? Oh, okay. Okay, I see a hand there. Panache?
Us now to eat more. So I want to say, one of the reasons why you have to eat more, if you were listening, that when the brand is removed and let us removed, you won't have the starch. So when we eat, our stomachs are full, but our bodies that we are starving to get the nutrition. So the next time that we get hungry, it is that depth of nutrition plus the hunger that we now feel in the present. When those two combine, it increases our appetite. Then we go back once more to eat more that's because it's time. And we are continuously starved even though we know food. So it's not about how much you are eating, but it's about the quality of what you are eating.
When we look at our normal diet, say our maize meal, when we take our maize to the millers, we always tend to remove the husk from the maize and have it ground into polenta. Now, by us removing the husk, we are actually doing a dissatisfaction to ourselves, to our bodies, to our health. Therefore, I would recommend, instead of dehusking your maize, have a straight run maize and consume it that way. It will be more beneficial to you.
Maybe I can also add on. Nowadays, there are now very small or household scale type of equipment which are bigger than the blender or the food processor that we can use. They are more like small grinding mills which we can use at our homes and make our own meal if we want that route.
Okay, I'm also thinking back in the days our grandmothers used to take rice and then they would pound it in their pounding, whatever it is. Okay. All right. Thank you so much to our audience for those questions and comments. So, in closing, what is the best route that we can take to provide for our carbohydrate needs?
Okay, I'm sure you all agree with me on this one here. Stick to tradition, basically.
Okay, Miranda.
Okay, and I also had someone saying that when the Africans adopted the American diet, then also the lifestyle diseases of the Americans also came to Africa. So I think if we go back to the traditional foods and also look at different other options for our starches, for example, cassava, sweet potato, to incorporate in our diets, that will be helpful.
All right, Dr. Kuda.
For me, I would say if something has got color other than white, it's probably better. So that's if the color is not in added color.
Okay.
So, and one other thing that I would also recommend, I heard the pastor's comments that you may want to avoid the supermarkets. I would suggest that amongst ourselves, there are people who understand the importance of grain, of whole grain. Why don't we have manufacturers who put those whole grains without processing them into the supermarkets for the benefit of everyone, instead of, or even educating the manufacturers themselves. That's what I would recommend.
All right. Thank you very much for coming to the show. It has been really insightful, and I hope our audience and viewers at home have gained some insightful knowledge on health. And to our audience and viewers at home, thank you very much for coming to the show. Don't forget to like our Facebook page, Health Realities Talk Show, and also subscribe on our YouTube channel, which is Health Realities. For questions and comments, you can send them on our WhatsApp number on your screen. It's bye-bye for now.